In this second screencast for Chapter 8, we're going to look at alternate forms of photosynthesis. Remember, the light reactions initially capture the sunlight energy, transferring it to ATP and to NADPH. Water is used during the light reactions, and oxygen gas is produced. The ATP and NADPH are used during the Calvin cycle. Carbon dioxide is used, and carbohydrates such as glucose are produced. The light reactions occur on the grana, and the Calvin cycle occurs in the stroma. Photosynthesis, as I've described it so far, is called C3 photosynthesis. It's called C3 because the first stable organic molecule produced using carbon dioxide is the 3-carbon containing molecule 3-PG. All trees and most spring-flowering plants use C3 photosynthesis. If growing conditions are good, C3 photosynthesis is a very efficient way of doing photosynthesis. But there are problems with C3 photosynthesis. These problems stem from the weird enzyme that catalyzes carbon fixation, RUBP carboxylase oxygenase. It has two names because it catalyzes two different reactions: carbon fixation, in which carbon dioxide reacts with RUBP, and photorespiration, in which oxygen gas reacts with RUBP. Photorespiration wastes RUBP that could be used in photosynthesis. Photorespiration is a problem when oxygen levels increase and carbon dioxide levels decrease in the leaf. When might this occur? Remember stomata? You saw them during the microscope lab. Stomata are openings in the lower epidermis of leaves. They can be open or closed by movements of the surrounding guard cells. Normally, plants open their stomata during the day when photosynthesis is occurring and close them at night. Here's a picture of stomata and guard cells. Most of the gas exchange between the atmosphere and tissues inside the leaf takes place through the stomata. Oxygen, carbon dioxide, and water vapor all move easily through open stomata. When the weather is hot and dry, plants are often forced to close their stomata to conserve water. With the stomata closed while photosynthesis is occurring, additional carbon dioxide has a hard time getting into the leaf, and oxygen produced during the light reactions can't easily exit. With lower carbon dioxide levels and higher oxygen levels inside the leaf, photorespiration becomes a real problem for C3 plants. But Oklahoma is home to many plants that are adapted to hot, dry conditions that we often have during the summer. This includes grasses such as buffalo grass, blue grama, big and little bluestem, even corn. One of their adaptations is a different kind of photosynthesis called C4 photosynthesis. Good news for you, they use the same light reactions and Calvin cycle as C3 plants. What they do differently is they separate these reactions in different cells. In C3 plants, cells shown in green do both reactions, the light reactions and the Calvin cycle, in the same chloroplast at the same time. In C4 plants, the light reactions occur in the solid green cells, and the Calvin cycle occurs in the ring of cells surrounding the red cells making up the veins of the leaf. As a result, the cells which are producing oxygen during the light reactions are separated from the cells that contain the RUBP, which is used in the Calvin cycle. In addition to separating the two sets of photosynthetic reactions, C4 plants also have a mechanism for delivering and concentrating carbon dioxide in the cells during the Calvin cycle. Carbon dioxide is first incorporated into a 4-carbon molecule and thus is named C4 photosynthesis. The enzyme that catalyzes this carbon fixation is very selective, and it only catalyzes reactions with carbon dioxide and not with oxygen. The cells surrounding the veins in the C4 plants, where the Calvin cycle occurs, are called bundle sheath cells. The 4-carbon molecule, first made using carbon dioxide, is delivered to the bundle sheath cells using energy supplied by ATP. Oklahoma has lots of C3 and C4 plants, in part because it's not always hot and dry in Oklahoma. When it's cooler and wetter, C3 is the more efficient plants, and these plants grow better. When it's hot and dry, the energy cost of delivering carbon to the bundle sheath is well worth it, and C4 plants grow better. Guess what? There's a third version of photosynthesis called CAM photosynthesis. It's used by cacti and other succulents. These plants avoid photorespiration by opening their stomata at night when it's cooler. Other plants can't do this. Then during the day, the CAM plants use that stored carbon to do photosynthesis, just like C3 plants do. This diagram summarizes some of the differences between C3, C4, and CAM plants. C3 photosynthesis on the left does the light reactions and the Calvin cycle at the same time, in the same chloroplast, in the same cell. When growing conditions are good, this is the best way to do photosynthesis. In the middle diagram is C4 photosynthesis. These plants avoid photorespiration by separating the light reactions and the Calvin cycle in separate cells. Finally, CAM plants fix carbon dioxide at night and thus conserve water. They do the light reactions in the Calvin cycle during the day using this stored carbon. These two diagrams compare photosynthesis on the left and aerobic respiration on the right. In many ways, these two pathways are direct opposites. Photosynthesis uses carbon dioxide and captures sunlight energy in organic molecules and releases oxygen. Aerobic respiration releases energy stored in organic molecules, uses oxygen gas, and releases carbon dioxide. Guess what? I promise never to spend an entire screencast talking only about chemistry ever again.